debate, the honourable member for Carleton. We're not getting any sound. I just wonder if the honourable member for Carleton can just check the mute button there.
And the information that we need to do that are in these contracts, and it is preposterous to me to be arguing like, well, you know, the vaccine manufacturing companies, they might not give us the vaccine if we ask questions. Of course, I support the amendment. I believe also procedurally in terms of how the standing order works, any documentation that is circulated to the committee has to be in official language, in both official languages. So I think that this amendment just reemphasizes a requirement that's already there, but of course we provide it. Just with regard to what would be tabled in both official languages through this amendment, my colleague, Mr. Pawlowski, suggested that I think that we shouldn't be supporting this motion because we would be mean to big pharma, who, like, something's wrong here. I mean, we haven't received doses of the mRNA vaccines that the Prime Minister promised. I mean, like, we're nowhere near being on schedule. And I don't think. It is our job as parliamentarians to be scrutinizing why this happened. That we need to do that are in these contracts. And it is preposterous to me to be arguing like, well, you know, the vaccine manufacturing companies, they might not give us the vaccine. Questions. Like think about that for a second. Like, think about what an average Canadian would think listening to a parliamentarian argue that we shouldn't be looking for information on whether or not a company has broken their contract or not, because it's really one or the other. It's either the Prime Minister is lying or the companies are delivering on schedule and the Liberal government has just negotiated a poor delivery schedule. I mean, it's really one or the other, right? And I think that's the real reason why colleagues here are hesitant to support that. I don't care about the politics of the situation. I just want a vaccine. I actually would like Justin Trudeau to get Canadians vaccines at this point in time. But our job as parliamentarians is to scrutinize information like this so that we can put pressure on the government to rectify situations that aren't working. And Mr. Pawlowski also stated a very good fact. We are at the mercy of every other country in the world right now. So as a committee, we should be finding out exactly how much we are at the mercy of other countries and then coming up with solutions to solve the problem. But in order to solve the problem, we need information to know how bad the problem is. So the argument that we should somehow be like bending over and not asking questions because big pharma might get mad at us is preposterous given the scale and gravity of the situation that we're facing right now. So yes, I support the motion, I support the amendment, and I hope we can just get on with business so that the law clerk can start producing these documents. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rempel-Garner. I would remind you of Standing Order 18, which prohibits us from impugning the integrity and of the other parliamentary associates, other members. To infer that the Prime Minister is lying, I think, breaches that requirement. We go now to Mr. Kellaway. Mr. Kellaway, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair, and certainly I'll allow Mr. Pawlowski to respond to some of those comments. And you know, everybody on the face of this planet wants a vaccine. Canadians want more vaccines, and you know, what worries me about loaded words like lying, words matter. And
well, I mean, there seems to be a confusion between they, well, I mean, they, well, I mean, they.